Hi, this is Brent, and we have Blake and Madeline. Wave.
Hi.
And I'm Susie.
And I'm Claire. I am going to talk a little bit about an organization called Orphan Outreach that helps with mission work in the country of Guatemala. So right now there are about 370,000 orphans in Guatemala, which is obviously a huge number. And over 50% of the population is under the poverty line. So there's a great amount of need in the country, and there's a lot of things that people can do and volunteer for to help. And I've actually had the privilege of going on a mission trip to Guatemala for the past 3 summers. So these are just some pictures of some kids that I got to work with. And especially since Guatemala is not too far from us, I think it's something that almost everyone could do, like a little bit of something to help out with and help influence the country. So I'm going to go over some statistics about Guatemala as a whole country. I'm going to go over some partnerships that Orphan Outreach has with organizations down there that help more directly, and then kind of Orphan Outreach's overall like values and aims with their organization and stuff. Guatemala as a country can be compared to America in many ways, but the struggles that they experience are stuff that we couldn't even imagine, which is something that sets them apart from us. So Guatemala is a poverty-ridden country. It struggles in many areas of health and development. It has the highest fertility rate and greatest population growth of anywhere in Latin America, which shows just how many people there are and how many young people there are especially. So about half the population is under the age of 19, which shows just the youth and how many kids there are and how many young adults there are and everything. There's a great lack of contraceptive awareness in the country of Guatemala, so girls are getting pregnant and having kids without knowing how they got pregnant or what makes them pregnant. So they have way too many kids, more than they can handle, and then that just kind of like amps up the number of people under the age of 18 and 19 in the country, which obviously that's not the solid workforce. It just creates a lot of issues. So with the population so young, all of the average ages for everything are really young too. So the median age is 22.5 in the country, and the mother's mean age of the first birth is 21. So that means that most women are 21, about 21 years old when they have their first child, which is a lot lower than it is in America or any other country that we could think of. So with the poverty rate so high and the average age is so low, there are many opportunities created for people to come in and help. So Orphan Outreach partners with 2 organizations that I'm going to focus on are Amor del Niño, which means Love the Child, and the Community Care Center in Chimaltenango. So first, Amor del Niño is a children's orphanage that takes care of about 50 children from newborns to 12-year-olds. And the orphanage is run by an American lady who moved down there. She also fights for adoption rights and orphan rights and everything in the courts in Guatemala, which is a really big deal, and it helps the people down there a lot. And with the help of Orphan Outreach, Love the Child has monetary sponsors, and it is able to provide for babies that have been orphaned. Maybe they have a developmental disability, special needs, or even if they were abused or something, they can go to this home and get taken care of, which is a super special thing. And then the Community Care Center is in a different location in Guatemala. It's in a town called Chimaltenango, and it was built to help families who are working at the local dump and their kids. So the Community Care Center runs an after-school program to reach the overwhelming need of the children, because their parents are working over 12-hour days gathering trash to collect money for the family. So the kids get to have an after-school program where they can go and interact with other kids and learn about God and Jesus and do Bible studies and stuff like that. And the Community Care Center also has an outreach program that helps the families with their medical needs and anything like building stoves in their house, or really just anything that they need and can help with, they can get through this Community Care Center. So throughout Orphan Outreach's partnerships in Guatemala, they are able to work more hands-on and more directly and help the people have brighter outcomes and a lesser focus on the poverty that they are living in. So kind of about Orphan Outreach's values. Orphan Outreach is a 501c3 nonprofit that uses a Christian faith base to try to reach as many at-risk kids around the world as possible. I'm just focusing on the Guatemala branch, but they work everywhere. And I got this information from the Orphan Outreach website. So the children this organization aims to kind of help have been victims of sexual abuse, like violence in their family, physical abuse, psychological trauma, malnutrition, human trafficking, and all kinds of things that we can't even imagine. So Orphan Outreach provides financial support for people to go on mission trips, either short-term or long-term, as missionaries to help support programs. They do partnerships like I talked about a minute or two ago, and just anything they can to help alleviate the load of poverty that are on these kids and on these families in these countries. So by doing this, they kind of try to lower the amount of victims to poverty and violence around the world. And with a religious background, Orphan Outreach members have kind of like a guide to provide for the children's needs that they are interacting with. So they seek to meet with the physical, emotional, psychological, and educational needs of the kids in the countries that they visit. And so by providing guidance and hope, Orphan Outreach aims to show the children a brighter future and that things are possible for them, especially if they have a stronger faith in God. So with strong outlooks and values and partnerships to kind of back it up, Orphan Outreach does a lot of good things in Guatemala, and that can only be helped with the help of like all of us. So obviously Guatemala is full of need, and there's a ton of opportunities to help. So by supporting groups like Orphan Outreach, we can all help give the kids in extreme poverty a brighter future, hope, and show them that there's people in the world who love them and that God loves them, and that there's always something to do to help people who are less fortunate than us.